God says to the wife, he says, be in subjection to your own husband. That's what he says. And you know what women says? Women says, nah, he's not talking about me. He's not talking about the modern woman. This is for women that are old women. This is from the Bible women. But he's not talking about being in subjection to your husband today. Yes, he is. That's what God says, and you refuse to do it. Same thing that Eve did. That's why you just like Eve knew what God said about the fruit, about the trees. Do not eat of this tree, but you have access to all these other trees. You can eat from them freely. You can be amongst those trees. You can do what you like, but this one tree, do not eat of it. So the enemy comes, uses the same tricks. Enemy comes and says, I want you to focus on the one tree that you should not have, instead of all the trees that God has allowed you to have. That same spirit is in women today. I want the bad boy because I shouldn't have him. I want to do these bad things, these horrible things, start this fans only account. I want to be wild. I want to do all of these things because I shouldn't do it. The enemy shifts the focus. Now, when you think about today, God says, be in subjection to your husband, one man. But the enemy then shifts your focus again. And now you're in subjection to everybody else except for your husband. See, you're in subjection to the friends. You do whatever the friends say, go wherever the friends go, talk however the friends talk. You're in subjection to your boss, to your manager, to the job. The boss gets to tell you when to come in, when to leave. He gets to tell you how you should take your vacation, when you should take your vacation. He gets to tell you how much you're valued and how much you're worth, because he gets to pay you a salary that he has determined. You're in subjection to the boss. You're even in subjection to the pastor. See, the pastor's word to you is gold. You listen to your pastor at the church, and then you have the nerve to bring what the pastor says at church and bring it to your house and your husband. Your pastor does not live here. But you bring that to your husband. This is what my pastor has said. Because you're in subjection to your pastor. You've arranged yourself under your pastor, arranged yourself under your boss and your manager, arranged yourself under your friends and your family, the in-law. You've arranged yourself under all of these themes. But God says to arrange yourself and be in subjection to your husband. And that's the game that the enemy plays. So just as Eve did not listen, even though God said, you're doing the same thing and not listening to what God said. You're Eve. But you hate to be in submission to your husband. Sounds like feminism, doesn't it? Sounds like what the devil has taught and brought through feminism. Girl, don't you dare. You're an independent woman. You don't need no man. Why is the enemy after your husband like that? Because the enemy knows that your husband has provision, has power, has leadership. He is the head. If he can get you to be less than mindful of your husband, then he can do any and everything to you and your family. The enemy knows that. So now what you do is you minimize your husband and amplify everything else. That's what you do. So then when your husband says that he loves the way that you look, just as you are perfect. Soon as you wake up in the morning, get out of bed, messy hair with your pajamas on, he sees you as perfect. Just like that. He says, I don't want you to change anything. I love you just like that. But you know what you say to him? I am not in subjection to you, sir. So what you do is you go paint on lipstick, lip gloss. You go and paint your eyes and put on shadows. And then you put a whole nother person's hair on your head. Then you get the needle, you inject your breasts, You inject your lips and you inject your backside to get a BBL. Then you try to hold it all together with a waist trainer. All because you are in subjection to society. Even though this man loves you and wants you just the way you naturally are. But you're not in subjection to him. I got to fit in, she says. I got to fit into the narrative that the world is pushing. If I want to be popular, if I want to be famous, if I want to get the likes and the subscriptions and the attention, I have to do things the way that the Kardashians do them. The Kardashians are rich and they're famous and they're loved, so I have to do it the way that they do them. So I change my breasts, change my lips, change my face, change my butt, change my thighs. I have to change everything to be like them. I'm in subjection to them. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's a program. You don't inherently like the Kardashians. You've been programmed to like the Kardashians. You have been as manufactured as their bodies are. You have been as manufactured, programmed as their bodies are. But the modern woman is in subjection to everything and everybody except for her husband. God said to do this, and you refuse to do it. He says that a woman should have a meek and quiet spirit. Oh man, this is where people turn off the video. This is where people stop listening to the video. He says to be meek and gentle or quiet spirited. Now you tell me who in your society is pushing that narrative for women? Who of your celebrities, your Beyoncé's or Taylor Swift's or Cardi B's or whoever else, Hollywood, who is trying to exemplify as a woman a meek and quiet spirit? Or are they telling you that you're a boss chick, that you got to get your own? You can do it. Be loud, be bold, take your clothes off. Because you're in subjection to it. Everything else other than your husband, you are in subjection to. You are submitting to. So what you do is that you have to look the part. So you get clothes that are ripped and torn and you show off more. You get the leggings. You get the leggings that are hiked off in you and you wear those, and then you get online and show off your in the gym videos. Don't show me your in the gym videos. Show me your in the kitchen videos. Show me your in there teaching the kids how to learn videos. Show me that you love your husband videos. But because you're not in subjection to your husband and you're in subjection to all of these other things, these things have proven to be the most important things to you. You don't want a meek and quiet spirit. You want a go-getter, hustler's mentality, Rick Ross type of spirit. And I'm telling you, it's of the devil. The devil says, has God said? Did God really say that? Did God say you shouldn't eat of this tree? Did God say you should be in subjection to your husband? It's the same enemy going after the same gender. You, woman. And you're failing in the same way. Oh my God. Lord, hold me. Hold me. Where's the balance to it all? Where's the balance to it all? The balance is this, that God says for women to be in subjection to their husband, yes. But in the same passage, you hear God say this to the husbands. He says, I want you to honor your wife, treat your wife right. I want you to treat her like she's the weaker vessel. Make sure you take care of her. When you travel with her, when you carry her, when you teach her, like a weaker vessel, you have to care for this thing because you need to treat her as an heir to grace. You guys are running the kingdom. That's your queen. You run the kingdom together. Watch how powerful this is. Watch how powerful this is. Now, if you look up in the Greek, if you look up what it means to honor your wife, look up the word honor. And it looks like in the Greek, time, in the Greek. But if you look at the spelling, it's Time. Time. You want to honor your wife? You need to give her time. It's twofold. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's twofold. Give your wife time. That means you have to listen to her. You got to talk to her. You got to go on dates with her. You got to go play volleyball. I play volleyball. I'll go watch my wife play volleyball. You have to give her time. But the second part of that is that you have to make sure she has time. You got to retire your wife. Oh boy, that's ugly. That's a whole nother video. Retire your wife. Get your wife off the job. Retire your wife. You have to give her time and make sure she has time in order to honor your wife. Because if a man isn't honoring his wife and treating his wife right, watch this, it's hard for him to have a conversation with God. It's hard for him to have a conversation with God because his prayers can be hindered. Now listen, if you know a sister in the sisterhood or whatnot, and they are just angry about this video, that's okay. Tell them that I'm not hard to find. And tell the brothers that this is the language of kings. Tell them I sent you. God bless you.